about it. Check and feel at the topic. Oh, make we chat about it. Latest news, make we chat about it. All your views, make we chat about it.
Check and feel chat for say with the girl HP.
Well, hello. Good evening. It is another Thursday. Oh my God. Time is just moving like a lightning bolt. No pun intended. But good evening, everyone, wherever you're tuning in from, whether you're coming from Africa, you're coming from Asia, you're coming from Europe, North America, South America, Antarctica. I hope I got all seven continents, but welcome each and everyone. And of course, already we have Lansford Lions who is joining us, and everyone who are joining on Facebook. Welcome. I hope you all been having a great week so far. It's been a week, but I've been looking forward to this interview from last year. I have been looking forward to this interview. And guess what? She is here tonight. Yes, she made the time and she is here tonight. And I'm going to give you guys some clue. And I want to see who can tell me who this Olympic champion is. Jamaica Olympic champion, Jamaica track and field gem. I'm going to give you some guesses. She is an Olympian, as I said before. She is an Olympic champion. She is formerly of Jonathan Grant High School. I know many of you don't know where that is, but you're going to learn that tonight. She is one of the best starter in a 4x100 meter relay on the global stage. And tonight we are going to get to know a little bit about her. So, you know what? I'm excited. You guys cannot tell me who it is. So, I'm going to bring in my guest right now. And here she is with me, the one and only, the one and only TAYNA Lawrence-GAYLE Olympic champion, Jamaica's Olympic champion. And already, TAYNA, guess who is on the live? Another Olympian, Davian Clark. I know you don't know that name, TAYNA.
Hey, Davian.
Davian is here with us already. Monica Lewis, welcome. Lansford, welcome each and everyone. Tanya, good evening. How are you today? How was
Good
your day?
evening. Thanks for having me. I am doing fine. Thanks.
Lovely. And we're going to get right into the meat of the matter. Tanya, tell us a little bit about Tanya as a little girl, which primary school you went to, which parish, just a little bit about your childhood. You don't have to go in depth. Just tell us a little bit to break the ice.
Okay. Well, Tana, as a little girl, grew up in Spanish Town. Um, I remember going to Spanish Town Primary. I remember being a tomboy who hated skirts and bows. And there's one distinctive thing I can remember about myself is pulling out my bows out of my hair every evening and dropping it at the gate when I leave school. And every day my mom would give me another pair and I would pull them out and throw them away. So I remember myself as a tomboy running up and down on the streets with all the boys and just playing. That was me growing up as a little girl.
Something, Tanya, I think that is a lot of our story. That is kind of my childhood story too, running up and down with
Yes.
the boys. But Tanya, when did you, before we even get to Tanya, being Tanya as that super athlete at the Olympic level, at the highest level, you're from Spanish Town, and a lot of people did not know who you were before the Sydney Olympics. Tell me a little bit about your journey at the Jonathan Grant High School, where you attended for a short time.
Well, my journey at Jonathan Grant wasn't really focused on track and field, to be honest. I started it there along with doing primary sports day, then went over to Jonathan Grant and I started it there. But I wasn't serious about it, to be honest. I remember making it to girls' champs one year, and I think I ran the 400 because
Wow.
I was a 2-4 runner. Like all my life, I've been a 2-4 runner. I didn't start doing the 100 until I got to college.
Wow, interesting. What
Yes.
a switch. But
Hmm.
before you go any further, Tanya, you have some people on the live going on as if they know you more than how I know you. Davian Clark is saying, Jonathan Grant down the street from my primary school,
Hmm.
which was basically the same place in Spanish Town in St. Catherine.
Hmm.
Monica Lewis is saying St. John's Road, Spanish Town. But they're actually, and somebody said Barrack School. What is that?
Well, Spanish Town Primary, what its old name used to be Barracks, and then they
Oh.
changed the name.
Okay. So you
Yes.
see, guys, we are
Hmm.
learning about this
Yes.
mysterious Tanya Lawrence. You attended two high school, Jonathan Grant, as you said, and later
Mhm.
on you attended North Beach High School in the United States. Tell me a little bit about the transition from high school in Jamaica to high school in a foreign country.
Okay. Well, the name of the school is actually North Miami Beach.
Okay.
Yeah. The transition was very, very difficult to begin with because when I left all my friends and coming to a new country, meeting new friends, meeting new teachers, trying to adapt to the way how they do things. Like everything was different. For the first year, I literally was trying to figure out who I was. And I didn't figure out who I was until I joined the track team. And once I joined the track team, it seems like that's when I started to fit in because, I recognized with people who had the same interests as I did. And I began to flourish from there.
Wow, interesting.
Mhm.
Transition is never the easiest thing, especially when you're moving from one culture to the
Mhm.
next. The fact that the cultures were so different, what were some of the things that you had to do outside of sport in order to feel like it was you were home?
Well, one of the things I did was visit family a lot. Like the family that I had here, I visited with them a lot. I had a few friends that I knew from Jamaica who was in the area. I spent time with them. So that made me feel, at home. And of course, my house was like a total Jamaican house. So going home every evening, like the thing is, when I get off the bus in the evenings to walk to my house, I was able to tell what was cooking at my house before I got there. And it's always some Jamaican food. So going home every evening, I felt like home, like Jamaica. But then when I entered the school in the mornings, it was like, okay. And then at lunchtime, the food used to be so disgusting. It was just everything. The way how the kids spoke, the way how they spoke to the teachers, like everything was just an adjustment. Like, okay, okay, it took me a while. It took me a while.
It was like a culture shock.
Culture shock. Hmm.
Wow, wow. So you started out your track and field. You started out with track and field in Jamaica, but while at North Miami Beach, did you consider track and field any at all, or it was at your
That's
college level?
where the thing is, my passion for track and field grew when I came to America, to be honest. It sparked in Jamaica. And I think it sparked so much from watching the Olympics, watching Merlin Ottey, watching boys and girls champs. But I never took it seriously. But when I came to America, that's when I started to take it seriously. And then I
Do
had a coach who pushed me and, encouraged me and I began to grow in it.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
Let us segue a little bit to university, FIU. Um, you attended FIU, of course, in Florida.
Hmm.
How much did that campus feel like home for you?
It felt like home because I was close to home,
Okay.
to my mother's house. But to be honest, that's not where I wanted to go to school. That's definitely not where I wanted to go to school. I was set on going to University of Alabama. I swore that's where I was going to go. I was in communication with the coach until the last minute. My mom said no.
You're
She
staying
said,
close. You're staying
"You're
close
staying
to home.
close." She said, "You're not going out of state." That broke my heart. And at that point, I kind of figured I am done for, because now I am going to a college that is not known for track and field, has never produced any sprinters. Like, all odds were against me going to FIU, but I made it work.
How did you navigate? How did you navigate those challenges to get ahead with your career, to have such a successful track and field career?
To be honest, it was just hard work. It was a lot of intense work with my team, and a lot of hard work by myself. So there would be days where I train with my school team, and then I leave and go train again by myself. So I literally trained double to make it to even NCAA, because the program was just not set up to do that. So I had to seek, outside help and just side work to get where I needed to go. So it was a lot of additional work on my part just to be able to, you know, get to NCAA, to be
What
honest.
was the motivation, though? The fact that you had to do all of that, but what was the real motivation in you pushing yourself? You went to a high school in Jamaica that was not really known for track and field. Here
Hmm.
you are, ended up in a university that is not known for it.
Hmm.
What was the motivation why you kept going? I mean, I would have just said, something.
I know, but to be honest, my motivation at the time was that I wanted to go to NCAA. Like, I had short-term goals and I had long-term goals. And at that time, my long-term goal was making it to world championships. And then my short-term goals were, okay, NCAA, NCAA. That's all my mind was set on. So I would put in the extra work, weekends work, night work. Sometimes I'm at the gym at night, and my motivation was just to get there, because, like, within myself, I knew I was capable, because even North Miami Beach that I went to was a school also that wasn't even known for track and field. And
Man,
being
oh, you're so unlucky.
yeah, being a 2-4 runner, and I'm like, okay, I'm taking this serious. And then I went to one state in the 200, and I'm like, you know, I have it in me, and I'm like, I have to bring it out, and I don't care how it comes out. I'm gonna put the work in to get it out. So that was my motivation, making it to NCAA's.
When you arrive at the NCs, the NCAAs, and I'm sure you came in contact with Jamaicans who would have competed at girls' champs, Jamaicans who would have been at universities that,
Mhm.
have established track and field program. What was that like for you? Because it sounded to me like you stayed very close to what was happening in track and field in Jamaica.
Mhm. To be honest, when I went to NCAA's for the first time and I saw all these other athletes from Jamaica, and not just from Jamaica, but wearing these big name university uniforms, and I am here from FIU by myself, not with a team, but traveling solo, I'm like, I kind of felt like I don't belong here, to be honest. Like, I don't belong here. Like, I don't fit in,
Wow.
yeah. At first, that's how I felt. And I had to brush it off, and gave myself talks that you work just as hard as they did. You know,
Exactly.
you're just as good as they are, even better. And I would have to tell myself that to make myself know that, guess what? The same track they're running on is the same track you're going to run on. They have two legs, you have two legs. You've put in the work, they've put in the work.
Wow. That's beautiful. I mean, actually motivating yourself. And as you said, you weren't traveling with a team, you were
Mm-hmm.
solo
Mm-hmm.
because you really wanted to do this. Before we continue, guys, hello, good evening, welcome. If you're just joining us, I am here tonight with the brilliant, outstanding Jamaican Olympian, Olympic champion, Tanya Lawrence. We're just here tonight because we want to get to know this outstanding person who have made us proud as a country that we did not get an opportunity to know as a junior, and she's here tonight telling us her story. And before we go any further, Tanya, someone, Marlon Walker,
Mm-hmm.
on the who is watching, he said that that first leg in the 4x100 meter relay at the Athens Olympics. Yes, that's what he's saying. And I know exactly what he's saying. And we're going to talk about
Mm-hmm.
that relay in Sydney and in Athens. But let us college, you're in college, college is
Mm-hmm.
happening, university is happening, NC is happening. You made the Olympic team for the Sydney Olympics 2000. Did
Mm-hmm.
you expected that when you turn up at Jamaica for the trials?
Mm-hmm.
Did you saw that coming and making the Olympic team?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
What was your plan coming to the trials that year, the Sydney Olympics?
To be honest, my plan was to win the trials. To be honest, that was my plan. That year, I was very confident. I've been running the times and I really thought I was coming to win.
That was the idea.
Hmm.
That is
Yeah.
brilliant. I mean, at that national trials, I still remember a lot of the names in that trial. That trials, it had you in it. It had Merlene Otti in it. It had
Hmm.
Beverly McDonald. It had Veronica Campbell Brown. It had Peter Gay Dowdy and company. What was going through your mind when you line up in that race and the announcer started to call all those names? What was can you remember what was going through your mind before that race went off?
To just execute what I've been doing all year. That's it. Block everything out, block everybody out, and just execute.
Wow. It in sports there's something called when you defeat the favorite or the big names they call it upset. What were your emotions like when you realized now that you not only just made the Jamaican team, but you made the team for the individual 100 meters? What kind of emotions did you feel? Because you defeated one of the biggest names in track and field.
To be honest, I was very emotional. And I think not so much because I made the team, because I went there to do that, but because I beat Marlene. Because Marlene has been the person who motivated me throughout my whole track and field career.
I could tell.
Hmm. In high school, my locker had Marlene picture everywhere in it. That was my motivation. So for me to beat her at that track meet to make the team, it was bittersweet. So bittersweet. But I had to tell myself that I had a job to do and I'm here to accomplish something. Same way she is. She has accomplished a lot, tons and tons of accomplishment before me. And
Indeed.
I'm here to do a job and I got my job done. So I had to remind myself that, but it was quite emotional.
It must have been because she's your idol and you
Yes.
defeated her. So I can just imagine you wanted to celebrate, but you
But
felt.
yeah, it was just bittersweet. I'm telling you, that whole year, it was something else
Did you
because
embrace her?
yes, of course. Absolutely. Absolutely. She paved the way for me and many others. And I mean, it was one of the greatest joy just to be on the same team with her. You know, I embrace that.
My eyes are getting teary. I cry easily, Tana. So take your time with me. But I love that. I love that the way you talk about Merlin, your idol, and how you felt when
Hmm.
you defeated her and how you were able to compartmentalize. You said to yourself, I have a job to do. And even though she is my idol, I am still here to do a job. That's outstanding. Before we go to my next question, let's just look at what the live is saying.
Hmm.
Daniel England is saying greetings. Do you know the name Daniel
Oh,
England?
yes.
Oh,
Hmm.
yes, an outstanding athlete for Jamaica himself at the junior level.
Hmm.
Dorothy Scott Genius is another Olympian on the live, a former very technical high
Hmm.
school girl and also an Olympian. She said, hello, everyone. Tina has a very interesting path to the Olympics. I have a lot of respect for her and her perseverance to achieve her goals. Brilliant. I have to
Thank
post
you.
this. I have to post this. I wow. And she's right. Your path to the Olympic Games is very interesting. And here we have Marlene Green on the live. She said, good night, all. And she said, oh my gosh, Tanya, wow, great seeing you. And I'm going to tell you a little story quickly. Marlene Green on the live was actually the person who said to me, you need to get Tanya Lawrence. She has been saying it to me for a while. She was the one who said, I want to hear
Hmm.
Tanya's story, and she's here tonight. And very interesting. But Tanya, you did not just defeat your idol Merlin Ottey at the trials. At the Sydney Olympic Games, you won your first individual medal in the 100 meters. You won a bronze initially. What
Hmm.
did that mean to you? Did you cry? Did you jump? Did you lay on the track? And what were you feeling? Because your idol, you and Merlin, were on the line together.
Hmm.
Tell me about that.
I I think I had an out of body experience, and I didn't sleep for about 2 or 3 days. And I remember my roommate was Bridget Foster Hilton, and she needed her rest for the hurdles, and I couldn't sleep after that because my race was done, and I was just elated. I was just over the moon, overjoyed, in disbelief. Like, I know I was prepared. And it's so funny because when I got there, I was under the tutelage of Mr. Mills. So I would go to the track daily with Mr. Mills to do my workout.
And we're
And I
talking about
remember
Mr. Glenn
Glenn
Mills?
Mills, yes.
Okay.
And I remember the very last workout that I did with him. He said, "You're ready." He said, "Anybody beat you, they're on drugs." That's what he told me. I never
Tanya,
forgot.
Tanya, Tanya.
I never forgot that. And
Well,
I
we are
said,
going to talk about that.
okay.
We are going to talk about that.
Yeah, and I said, okay. And yeah, I knew I was ready. I knew I was prepared and everything. But just to accomplish it, it was like, oh my God, I can't believe this. I can't believe it. Like, it's not a gold medal, but it felt like my gold. So to be honest, my bronze medal, and I still call it my bronze medal because that's what I was given at first.
And
But
we're going
my
and
bronze
and we're going to
medal
talk about that. We're
was
going to
my
talk
gold
about that.
medal
But
because
go ahead, Tanya, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, my bronze medal that I got at Sydney, when I crossed that line, was my gold, because when I crossed that line, I saw everything in front of me from where I started and to the point where I was. For all the trials, all the tribulation, all the defeats, all the shortcomings, all the hard work, all the not having enough to, just do what I need to do, just being in unfortunate situations and persevering through. I saw everything flash in front of my eyes.
Wow.
It was a surreal moment.
What a story. But Tanya, after that race, when you realized that you and Merlin were actually locked on the line this
Mhm.
time,
I was
what
happy
was
that I was happy that we both got a medal. I was very happy that we both got a medal. And when I realized I got bronze, I was like, "Oh my god. Oh my god." But eventually we both got a medal.
right? And we're going to talk about that too. But Tanya, you got in that race because I watch all the different races. Back in those days, they had the heats, they had a quarterfinal, they had the
Mhm.
semifinal, and they had the final 4 rounds.
Mhm.
And in quarterfinal two, you were in quarterfinal two.
Mhm.
Marion Jones was in that race, and what's her name? Eh, I can't, I never can pronounce that
Ekaterina.
name. But yeah, Tanu.
Mhm.
Tanu was also in that race, and all three of you in quarterfinal two came first, second, and third
Mhm.
in quarterfinal two.
Yeah.
Now, you in the final, you got lane one. Debbie Ferguson from the Bahamas was in lane two beside you. After you were introduced, and they're introducing everybody else, the gun went. You were gone like a bullet. I don't know if you've rewatched that race, but
Mhm.
that is one of the races that I've rewatched a lot, up to recently, a few nights ago.
Yeah.
You were gone like a bullet in lane one.
Mhm.
What was your race plan for that final? I've seen people say lane matters, but I've seen people medal from the outer lanes.
Mhm.
The lane eight, the lane seven, the lane one, the lane two. What was your game plan for that final after running 3 rounds?
Well, after seeing that I got lane 1, my only thought was I have to get out. I have to use my asset, which was my start. And then, for one, I have to focus on my lane. And my dominant side is my right side. So that was a good thing. If I had drawn like a lane 7 or 8, it might have not played out the same. But my peripheral vision on my right side is usually way better than my left. So I think that, was an advancement for me. And then I relied on my start. Because if I hadn't
So
gotten the start that I did, I definitely wouldn't have medaled.
So lane does matter then,
Hmm.
Tanya. You would say
It
lane.
does. For
Which
me, it
lane
does.
do
It's
you
true.
prefer? Do you prefer the middle of the track, or you prefer, as you said, the inner lanes?
I prefer the inner lanes. Lane 3 was my lane. Whenever I go to a track meet, I always try to choose lane 3. I don't know why. I just like lane 3.
Going back to Sydney a little bit, there was a dispute in Sydney, a disagreement with the team because of a decision that was made by the J38s. And of course, that dispute caused a demonstration from some of the team members who were a part of the Sydney team. How were you able to stay focused on the job that you had to do for yourself and for country?
To be honest, I really just block it out. I stayed away from the drama. I am this type of person. I'm low key. I really don't have much to say if it doesn't concern me. And I really tried to stay focused and made sure I was away from the drama. I stayed drama free.
Were you asked to be a part of that dispute, that demonstration that took place? Did anyone approach you?
No, I wasn't asked to be a part of it. No, I don't think anyone was asked to be. It was more of if you wanted to,
Oh,
participate.
okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Okay, before we go any further, guys, this is Tanya Lawrence. We are getting to know her. We are getting to know one of the athletes that we did not know anything about until Sydney. And I'm going to confess, I did not know until Sydney. I was like, who is this girl? So we're here tonight learning about our own track and field gem, Tanya Lawrence, looking at her legacy going forward. Tanya, you
Yeah.
came back 4 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Athens, a lot of people will forever remember the Athens Olympic Games, especially that 4x1 that landed. A matter of fact, before we even go to that, you won silver with the relay team in Sydney also with a super team with the very technical trio of
Mm-hmm.
Merlene, your idol, Veronica Campbell Brown, who was a school girl at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and Beverly McDonald. That was a super team.
Yeah.
Three outstanding athletes, former from very technical. Did you? I mean, this was a big deal. Who set up this team, Tanya?
It was a big deal. I can't even remember who was the team
I
coach at the time.
okay.
But it was a big deal because after the 100-meter was done, it was almost like, okay, it never happened, because that's the mindset. You
Mm-hmm.
start over, you regroup, and it's almost like the first race again. And we're like, okay, there's no way why we shouldn't get gold.
Mm-hmm.
That was the attempt for the goal right there.
Right.
And it was an awesome, awesome experience to run with those ladies.
It was,
Mhm.
and it was a Caribbean affair because the
Yes,
Bahamas
the Bahamas. Yeah.
won. Yeah, the Bahamas won the gold medal, and they too had a super team with Debbie
Hmm.
Ferguson's,
Yeah.
Sandra Stirrup, and those girls. So
Yes.
it was a big deal. But to see Veronica Campbell Brown and that backstretch when she collect that
Yes.
baton from you as a
Hmm.
school girl,
Yes.
it was outstanding.
Hmm.
It was
Definitely was.
it was You sustained injuries
Yeah.
in 2001 that hampered, a series of fractures in
Hmm.
2001. You were ruled out of the World Championship 2001. And after waiting until 2003 for another World Championship, you missed out again because of leg injuries that led to surgery. Two major championships you had to sit out because of injuries. What were you saying to yourself while you were sitting out those period and trying to heal and come back? What kind of conversations were you having with yourself?
Why I can't make it to a world championship? That's just my only thing. I can never make it to a world championship because every world championship I was injured. Coming out of college, that was the first world championship team I was trying to make, even before Sydney. And I had
Mm-hmm.
a stress fracture in my back. Then it healed and I got ready for Sydney. Right after Sydney, I got stress fractures in my leg. And that hampered me for a number of years until I decided, okay, I have to do surgery. And even with the surgery, it still didn't help. I was still running on and off. I don't know. Even when I ran 2004 Olympics in Greece, I wasn't 100%. I wasn't able to train consistently.
Wow.
I had to do one day on, one day off. Water work, grass work, my training was very messy. So what I was producing wasn't even what I was capable of. And that was the frustration I had that pushed me to walk away from the sport.
Wow.
Hmm.
But even though you were injured, you got injured after the Sydney Olympics that kept you out of those two world championship. You came back. But before we look at your comeback, I want to look at some of your achievements. You're a graduate of, FIU. Olympic game, two Olympic games, Sydney Olympics, the 2004 Athens Olympic Games. You are an Olympic champion, Athens 2004 Olympics. You are a double silver medalist from Sydney. And I know some people might be saying double silver, but I'll explain the double silver
Hmm.
to them in a little while. World Continental Cup champion, World Continental Cup double silver medalist, Golden League champion, two times Grand Prix silver medalist. A lot of people might not know these when I talk about the Grand Prix and Golden League, because of course we have upgrades like the Diamond League and those
Hmm.
things now.
Right.
But and looking at your personal best, you have personal best in the 55 meters at 6.77, 60 meters 7.13, the 100-meter, you are in the sub 11 category, 10.93. The 200 meters, 22.09. Of course, it was wind aided. 400 meters, you have a 400-meter PB of 53.63. 4 by 100-meter relay, 41.73, which you set at the Athens Olympic Games, 4 by 2. After all of that, after being injured 2003, here
Hmm.
comes Athens. You came back to the trials and you were on another Olympic team. How did it feel to come back after sitting out during injuries to Olympic glory once more?
It felt really good. It was almost like a reassurance, like, okay, it's not over for you, that kind of thing, because it was kind of daunting just going through a year after year of not being able to produce what you're capable of, not being able to train, and to come to the Olympics in 2004 and to get a gold medal with those ladies. It was almost like, just like, okay, you're still in it, kind of thing. And I really needed that confidence booster at that time. I really did.
And you surely got it, my dear. But that unbeatable team, that team of yourself, Sharon Simpson, Aileen Bailey, Veronica Campbell Brown. To me, that's one of the best setup that I've seen. There are others, but this one at the
Hmm.
Athens Olympics. Talk to me, Tanya.
Hmm.
Did you see the gold medal before you ladies walk out on the track for this final?
The moment we got those bodysuits,
Don't touch it yet, because that's
we
my next
said
question.
we
Listen,
said we have to walk off this track in a gold medal. I said
listen,
if we get off the track and it's not a gold, we don't need to
Tanya.
be wearing this.
Tanya, that suit, we're going to talk about it because it is one of my favorite kits. But in
Absolutely.
but listen, in an interview, Aileen Bailey
Mhm.
said, in an interview with me, Aileen Bailey said um that during practice, this is what she said. She said during practice, Tanya had the bullet start, and it was done that she was going to
Mhm.
start the relay.
Mhm.
You guys came second in the heats.
Mhm.
In the heats, Jamaica,
Yeah.
Team Jamaica came second.
Mhm.
But you guys came out and one that really, was it the kit? Was it that sexy?
I wouldn't say it's the kit, but the kit actually, it helped us. But I think what had really helped us with that team in 2004 was the cohesiveness that we had. We really had, a good communication. We were practicing, and I mean, the practices were so smooth. the practices were we worked together. We would walk to the practice track. We would sit out there, make sure we get it right. If someone is messing up, we have everybody coming together. Okay, what are we doing wrong here? We really worked together that year as a team. We really did.
Right, because I get to understand that the pass, I think they were trying to make a pass from you to Aileen, but it
Hmm.
didn't work. And then the
Hmm.
pass from you to Sharon was
Was
perfect.
perfect. Hmm. So
And
we're
that
like, that's
was,
what we're sticking with. Hmm. Yeah.
wow, working
So
together.
it really helped just going through. And the thing is with the relay, one has to understand that it's okay to not run a leg that you do want to run, for the betterment of the team. And that's what we had that year. Like, if Aileen was told that she needed to move from second leg to third leg, she was fine with it. Okay, whatever works, whatever is going to give us that goal. And that was the attitude that we all had, was like, put me wherever we're going to work best. And that's what we did.
Amen.
Hmm.
Amen. Amen. I have to say amen. Amen to that, because listening to you and Aileen have said the same thing in her interview. You guys work together. You, Sharon, Veronica
Hmm.
herself work together. And
Yeah,
wherever the past wasn't working, you guys switch it up.
we
And if
switched it
it
up.
work, and if it
Hmm.
work, you guys. And if someone should ask me which leg was the best leg of that relay, I cannot pick a leg, because all
Exactly.
four of you did brilliantly well.
Hmm. Yeah,
You
that
covered
is true.
everything. You
That
covered
is true.
everything. Listen, guys,
Hmm.
if you don't believe me, go and watch the 4x100 meter relay for at the Athens Olympic Games. Tanya, you covered when the gun went off. You covered everybody going to the curve to Sharon.
Hmm.
And
And
Sharon
Sharon
ran
ran a fantastic
Sharon
backstretch.
ran a beautiful third leg. A matter of fact,
Mhm.
a second leg. A
A
matter of
second,
fact,
yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
on that second leg, Sharon actually ran against Marian Jones on the
Mhm.
second leg,
Mhm.
who won the 100 meters.
Yeah.
But Marian could not get the baton to her
Mhm.
teammate.
Mhm.
Aileen Bailey killed the
She
third
killed
leg.
the third leg. Yes.
Aileen Bailey
Mhm.
eat everything, and Veronica just take
And
it
then it
home
was
like
over once Veronica had the stick.
Veronica take it home like a queen.
Mhm.
And then that
That was it.
celebration where she raised her hands.
Mhm. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Beautiful it was indeed.
Teamwork made the dream
Made the
work.
dream work.
But tell me a little bit about the kit, Tanya. When you saw that kit, Tanya, when you saw that kit, by the way, let me ask you, when did you guys know that you were going to run in that kit for the relay?
I can't remember if it was the night before or 2 nights before, but it wasn't long because it was almost like a surprise kit. And when we saw the kit, I remember both me and Aileen, we were fine with it. I know I was fine with it
How did
because,
I know? How did I know that you and Aileen would have been okay with that kit? Because that was going to be my next question.
yes, I remember we were fine with it and I was loving it. I was excited. I'm like, okay, I don't care if I'm naked out there, I'm running.
Listen,
I remember Veronica was saying, I am not running in this.
that was what I heard. That was what I
Yeah.
heard. That was what I
And we
heard.
coaxed her and we talked her into it. We're like, you're gonna be fine. We're all running in the same thing. And she's like, no, it's gonna go up in my butt. And I'm like, listen, we don't care where it goes as long as you cross that line. But that
Listen,
kid was something else.
that kit, let me tell you, when I saw you guys came out in that kit, I said to myself, I said, I bet you Tanya and Aileen, when they saw that kit, their first reaction was, I love it.
Yes, that was my first reaction. And then I said, with this kit, we better get a gold. Yeah.
And that you guys did. That's one of
Hmm.
my favorite kit though. I can't tell you. I
Yes.
love
Yeah,
that
I
kit.
framed mine.
You still have yours?
Yeah, I framed it.
Wow, beautiful.
Mhm,
Yeah. You need to
mhm.
send me a picture of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. To me, that's one of the best. I mean, how can you get that kid to run in and not be motivated to
I
win gold?
know. Oh my gosh.
Beautiful,
Mhm,
beautiful. Before we go any further, Tanya, guys, I'm here with Tanya Lawrence, and we are getting to know our Jamaican Olympian. This lady, she has contributed to Jamaica's rich Olympic level legacy and Jamaica track and field legacy. And tonight she's here sharing her story with us. And believe me, it is sweet. But Tanya, let me take you back a little bit. In 2007,
mhm.
Marion Jones, who won the gold medal at the Sydney Olympics, she admitted that she was using performance enhancement drugs prior to the Olympics. And the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, did not initially decided to change the result or upgrade anyone. And a part of it was because the silver medalist in that 100-meter Tanu from Greece had herself in some scandal also involving doping heading into the Athens Olympic Games. But after 2 years, the IOC decided that they're going to upgrade you and Marlene with medal. You got a silver medal, Marlene got the bronze. So Jamaica got silver and bronze in that race, respectively, and leave Tanu with her silver medalist, with her silver medal, sorry. The gold medal is withheld. I've never heard of that in a championship because
Never.
if someone is stripped because of any violation, then the other people are normally upgraded. But what do you think? What are your thoughts? You were in that race and
Mhm.
you are involved. What are your thoughts on their decision? Do you think that you and Merlin should have been upgraded to gold and silver? You getting the gold, Merlin getting the silver. What are your thoughts on their decision?
I thought that we should have been upgraded to gold and silver with 100% no doubt. I've never seen a spot left blank, and there wasn't a blank person who ran for gold. We had two people who ran and who were upgraded to silver and bronze. So why not upgrade them all the way? If you're not going to give that person the gold, then upgrade the next person.
Mm-hmm.
Those were my thoughts. So to be honest, the silver medal, it means nothing to me. Literally, it means nothing to me. And I might sound ungrateful saying this,
No, but you are right.
but
You
it
are
means
right.
absolutely nothing to me. My bronze medal was dear to my heart. So when I had to give that up, that tore me to pieces. Because if I'm going to give away the bronze that I actually ran for, and you're not going to give me what I really earned or deserve, don't give me anything at all. And that's just how I feel. And
I share
that's still my stance on that.
I share your sentiments 100% because I've never seen a spot left blank.
Hmm.
I don't I the inconsistency sometimes
Yeah,
it is just I don't know because I'm saying here you are two people who are tainted because the fact that they did not give her the gold medal because
hmm,
she won silver, it means it clearly means that she did not deserve the gold medal.
exactly. So it's like a slap in the face. It's a slap in the face. But for whatever reason it is, you know, I've tried to push it in the back of my head. I try not to think about it, but I don't talk about it, to be honest, because it's very hurtful.
I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I really I hate talking about it. It's just one of those things.
How do you think this would have affected, and I'm sure you know this, but
Mhm.
how did it affect your earning powers in terms of you negotiating contracts and endorsement and stuff? Because you were now negotiating as a bronze medalist, not
Hmm.
a gold medalist. And we all know that a gold medal or a silver medal, your earning powers are higher. How did
Hmm.
it affect you in negotiating contracts?
Tremendously, tremendously. There's it's two different worlds, to be honest.
I'm sorry that I have to
Two
be
different
bringing it
worlds.
up. I know it's emotional, and I'm
Yeah.
sorry that I'm bringing you back
Hmm.
there. But
It's two different worlds, to be honest. It's like when you look, and it's almost like you're looking in a rearview mirror and seeing, everything tumbling down behind you. That's the feeling, to be honest. Like, it would have
I'm
been,
sorry.
everything would have been so much different. Put it
Yeah.
that way. Everything would have been
Indeed,
so much different.
indeed, it would have been. It would have been for
Hmm.
almost 9 years. You were, earning as a bronze medalist. You weren't able to negotiate a certain way because of tainted people.
Hmm.
So your compensation, it was limited. But do you think that athletes who were cheated should be compensated when the truth is revealed?
Um,
Do you think that you guys should, at least World Athletics should say, okay, you were cheated and for 9 years, so what they would do is allocate a pool of funds, and when it is discovered that somebody was cheated, then you said, okay, we cannot give you what you would have earned during that time, but here
mhm.
is a check for $1 million or $200 or whatever. Do you think you guys should also get a check with that upgraded medal?
That would probably be very difficult to do unless they're going to go back and do race for race, or if it was like a world championship medal where you get a check with it, because Olympic medals are free.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, it would have been nothing there. And then it's going to be hard to go back and see, okay, what could she possibly have negotiated contract wise? A parent's fee, like all those are hard to go back and renegotiate and
True.
try to figure out how much you've lost and how much you didn't. That's very difficult to do. So I really don't see that being a possibility. No. Unless it's just like a straight medal that you get paid for, like world championship, then that's different.
But
You
at
can say, okay,
least,
you
at
got a
least
bronze,
give
here's the difference, for your gold or your silver. But for anything else, it's absolutely difficult to do that.
But at least give them something. You're not able to say dollar for dollar what you
Mm-hmm.
would have made, but at least
Right.
say, okay, what we're going to do, if we upgrade you to a silver medal, then you get $50,000. If you're
Mm-hmm.
upgraded to a gold medal, you get your gold medal and you get your check. At least give you
Yeah.
something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I
That
don't
would be
know.
nice.
It's
That would have been
it's
great.
it's yeah, it is just. And as I said before, I'm sorry that I take you back into that place, but it is a conversation that I've always
Mm-hmm.
wanted to have with you, especially when after Marian admitted
Yeah.
that and that was very honest of her, because she did not fail a drug test.
Mm-hmm.
She said, yes, I was using, and as
Mm-hmm.
a result. And but oh boy, when you look at let's move on to something a little brighter. When you look back at Jamaica rich track and field legacy, what are your overall thoughts of the small country and us being a powerhouse in track and field, especially in the
Mm-hmm.
sprints?
Well, for one, I am happy to be a part of it, because the moment you say you run for Jamaica, it's like, huh? Like, that's the thing, because they know the history. And Jamaica has that rich history because they start at such a young age, and it's
Hmm.
organized at such a young age, compared to other countries, even though it's so small. The passion that they have for it there is beyond anything that you'll ever see, even in larger countries.
Hmm.
So the richness of it, and to be a part of it, I am so, so elated to say, you know, I was a part of that. I'm a part of Jamaica, richness,
Indeed,
I can feel.
indeed, indeed. The Jamaican athletes, especially the women, have done some great things in track and field. Jamaica is the smallest by population country
Hmm.
that is so dominant in track and field. And Jamaica is the only country that has managed to sweep the podium in the women's 100-meter twice. Are
Hmm.
you surprised? Does this kind of result surprise you?
Not at all. No, not at all.
Wow. Wow. We continue to do great things, and when I do the
Hmm.
research and I realize that we are the only country that have done something like this at the highest level, and we've not
Hmm.
just we haven't done it just one time but two times.
Yeah.
Two
Mm.
times.
Yeah.
It's just brilliant
Oh, yes.
and
Hmm.
outstanding. But Tanya, this is a part that I love that I'm going into now.
Hmm.
What was your biggest challenge? I know you list out some stuff, but what was your biggest challenge in
Hmm.
your track and field career?
I would say deciding to run after college. I think that was my biggest challenge, deciding to run after college. Um, I remember when I graduated from FIU, I thought to myself, do I want to continue doing this? Because I was injured at the time with my back. And my mom told me, no, just give it up. And my dad, I remember my dad saying, you're still young. You're still young. You have one shot at this. If it doesn't work out, you're still young. You have a lot more years left. And I said, okay. And then I took the move to go to Texas. And I think that was like my biggest thing just going away because I stayed in town for college. So I never went away. So this was my first time moving away from my mom and, my household and, my whole FIU family that was so close to home itself. And I remember within 2 to 3 months, I called my mom and I said, I'm coming back home. I can't do this. I said, I don't think this is what I wanted to do. This is too hard. I can't. She told me, nope. She said, you made your decision. You're going to stay and you're going to make it work. I think at that point, I had no cushion. The rugs were pulled from underneath my feet. I had nowhere to go back to. I was out of my element and everything. And I said, guess what? I have to make it work. And this was probably about, I want to say November, December of 99 going into Sydney. And that's when I just closed my eyes and I say, do or die, it's going to work because I'm here, I'm sacrificing, I have people behind me who is encouraging me. And I made this decision, I got to stick with it. And I think that was that was my toughest point. So, going across the line at Sydney, like I told you, I saw everything just flashing in front of me, just all the sacrifice, all the ups, all the downs. So it made it feel like it was all worth it at that point.
Beautiful, beautiful. When did you know it was time to retire from competition? What was the trigger?
When I couldn't train, the frustration level got to a point where there were so many days I gave up, but then I returned. And then I gave up and I returned. But then I realized that I wasn't getting any better. And it didn't matter what I did so many things after surgery. I mean, there wasn't a therapy that I didn't try. I did everything I could possibly do. And I said, it's going to take God to just heal me and just make my legs work again. And it took me sitting down and not doing anything for a whole year. So that's during the time that I was pregnant with my son. And after that, I said, I'm not going back to track and field. I want to be a mother. I want to be a mother. So between having that injury that wasn't getting any better, wasn't able to train consistently, and then wanting to be a mother, I said there is no way I'm going to be traveling and trying to compete and living for myself when, I have kids. I said I don't want, that's not something I want to do. So for that reason I stepped away, but my main discouragement was my injury because only God knows what I went through. Only God knows the pain I was in. Sometimes I was out there competing. Even when I ran my PR, I was in pain. I ran the whole year in pain. So
And
it,
this
it was just terrible.
And I'm happy that you say that, Tina, because sometimes fans sit behind a television screen or their phone, social media, and an athlete will have a bad day, a bad race day. And
Hmm.
instead of trying to be compassionate or show empathy, not we, because I don't do that, but they tear the athlete apart. And I will say to people, on competition day, we don't know what an athlete is going through. Many times, athletes compete and they
Hmm.
are injured.
Oh, yes. Indeed. Indeed. I was one of them. I competed in injury with my injury for, I remember in 2002, at the end of the season when I came home and I went to go see the orthopedic surgeon. And he said, My God, he said, your shins are being held by a thread. He said, both shins by a thread. He said, you should not even be walking. And I'm like, oh my God. And when he showed me the photos, I was in tears. I cried because I knew I was in a lot of pain. But the thing is, with the adrenaline and you warm up and you're so focused, you don't think about it. You block it out and you just go because that's what you're trained to do. You put on all the numbness, you put on the blinders, and you just go. And when I saw those films, I was in tears. I couldn't believe I was doing that to myself. And I said, this cannot happen. And that's when I decided to do surgery.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Where is Tanya Lawrence these days? Are you involved in the sport, or I know that you're being a mom and that's your biggest thing ever, but are you involved in the sport in any way, coaching, mentorship, anything?
Well, I coach middle school, and that's not serious. It's not serious because those kids
Girl,
aren't
tell me
serious
about
at
it.
all. They are not serious at all.
Nothing. Mm-mm.
No, they're not serious. But I do that, and I try to encourage them. I try to motivate them. If I could touch one, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But my main thing right now, I'm a soccer mom. Unfortunately, I'm a soccer mom.
That's a good thing.
No,
You get to
no,
drive
it's
all over the country.
because I wish one of them actually loved track and field. They both hate track and field. They both
Why?
hate it. I don't know
I
why.
feel like, Tanya, you did not expose them enough when they were
Oh
younger.
no, that's what they started doing. Both my
Wow.
kids, I started them in track and field very little. At 4 and 5 years old, I had them. My son, he was so talented, so fast, and
But
everybody was
why
like,
the
"Oh my
switch
God."
though? Why the switch?
When he got to about 9 years old, he just came to me one day and he said, Mom, I hate running. And I said, What do you mean? He's like, I don't like it.
That don't make no sense.
He said, I don't like it. I'm only doing it because of you. And I remember my husband saying to me, You can't let him do that. If he's doing it, he should be doing it because of him, not
True.
because of you.
True.
And that's when I said, Okay, I'm not going to force you to do it. You're 9 years old. I'm going to allow you to choose. And he chose not to do it. My daughter, the same thing. They both are so passionate about soccer. Well, football, what we
Yeah.
call
As
football
we
in
call
Jamaica.
it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
and that's their thing. They're so passionate about it, and because of that, I have to support them in whatever their passion is. So now I am all over the place, going here, there, and everywhere, as a soccer mom, which I never thought. I mean, I watched a lot of football in Jamaica, you know, but I
Well,
never thought I would be toting my kids around going to football
Well,
games
guess
and
guess what,
practices.
Tanya? You said you wanted to be a mom. So
Yes.
welcome to being a mom. But before we go
Mm-hmm.
any further, let's just read some comments here. Marlene Green is saying, straight talk, Tanya. She's also saying Marianne Jones' conscience was at work, and she said, congratulations on your achievement, Tanya. Sharita Williams is saying, I'm so proud of you, my friend. I love you, girl. Etlin Tate. Do you know the name Etlin Tate?
No, I know
Et
Sharita Williams. I know Sharita
okay.
Williams. We went to Spanish Town Primary together
Okay.
in Jonathan
Etlin
Glen.
Tate
Hmm.
is a Jamaican Olympian.
Okay.
She is a 1988 Olympian, Etlin
Okay.
Tate. Um, there is Kevin Clark is saying, show them how track and field will help them in soccer. Maybe they will switch. Maybe they will switch. But
Well,
I agree with
they do use their speed in soccer. That they
indeed,
do, because they
indeed,
have
indeed.
speed and they do use it in soccer, but they're never gonna switch. No.
They might just change their mind by the time they get to college and stuff. But
Hmm.
one Kino is saying, did HP break character just by saying, yes, girl, tell me about it? I didn't even realize that I said that. But this is what happened when the conversation is good and it's flowing and stuff.
Hmm.
Lansford Lyons is saying, maybe they will take your path to track and field. Maybe later on.
Hmm.
But Tanya, I love this story, and your story is so authentic, and it's so good to we're getting to know who you are, because before we did not know. We just know that you run for Jamaica and
Hmm.
you've done great things at the Olympics, but to get to know you inside, where you're from, your struggles, as another Jamaican, it I feel good tonight knowing that I'm getting to know you as one of our Olympians who have done wonderful, wonderful things.
Thank you.
When you look back, you're welcome. When you look back at your career, is there anything you would have done differently? When you look back at what you have achieved in such a short time, is there anything you would have done differently?
Not within my control. The only thing that I wish I could have prevented was my injury.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And how I acquired that injury, I'm not even sure. I was just running on the track one day and my legs just started burning. And I remember I dropped to the ground, and that was it. And it was right after the Olympics,
Which
preseason, going
that's
into
Sydney, after the
right
Sydney
after
Olympics.
Sydney. Right after Sydney. And that was out of my control. That was the only thing I would have changed, because my journey would have been different. Because it was almost after Sydney, because I started doing the 100 so late
Oh,
that after Sydney, I think I would have blossomed into something so, so much better. And I never had the opportunity because of my injury.
wow. I tell you, injuries.
Hmm.
Oh man, I tell you, focus how much focus did you have to put into mental preparation for competition? Or you just run because you can run fast? Did you have to
Oh, no.
put the mind into
Oh,
it?
yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. I had to dig even deeper. I had to dig even deeper. I remember competing before Sydney. It was almost like, mentally going over what I need to do with my race plan. After Sydney, it became even more challenging because now it wasn't just race plan. It was race plan and maneuvering my injury. It was going to warm up, not even knowing if I'm going to get through the warm up. You know what I mean? It was now going out there as an Olympian, so it was just so many different things that I had to deal with to get myself mentally prepared just to compete.
Tanya, your signature is your start. Tell me about that start. How did you, where you get that start from? Is it something that you did in practice or is something that you had naturally? Because, girl,
To be honest, I don't think it was natural. It was taught. It was taught. It was definitely taught by my coach who trained me for the Olympics. That I must say, because I didn't go to him with that start. I acquired that start through training.
wow. Well,
Hmm.
girl, you have one of the best start in 100 meters, not to mention the 4 by 100 meter relay. I hear a lot of parish claiming you as their Olympian. I want you to tell the people now which parish should claim you.
Definitely St. Catherine.
St. Catherine, it
St.
is,
Catherine.
people.
Hmm.
Yep. So all those other parishes, I mean, people were trying because we did not see you through the ranks of champs.
Right.
It was hard to find information on you about your
Hmm.
junior career. So when I was asking about you, I was like, "Hey, anybody know which school Tanya Lawrence went?" And everybody was like, "I don't know. I wonder. Maybe it's this school. Maybe it's that school." And then
Hmm.
one day I was watching track and field championship. I think it was the Olympics. And Hubert Lawrence was doing commentary.
Hmm.
And he was talking about the 4 by one. And Hubert Lawrence made mention of you. He said the outstanding Tanya Lawrence, formerly of Jonathan Grant High School. Let me just run go write it down. Because, and that's the beauty about listening to people like Hubert Lawrence. He
Yes.
gives you more information
Hmm.
about the
Yes.
athletes. It's not just what is happening on the pitch, but
Hmm.
Hubert can tell you which parish you guys are
Oh,
from,
yes.
which college you went to.
Hmm.
So I learned a lot from him about you. And
Hmm.
that was how I knew that you attended Jonathan Grant. And of course I used it in a quiz question and
Hmm.
nobody got it right. Nobody got it right. Um so Saint Catherine should claim you, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And Davian is saying the same thing. But before we go further, Daniel England has a question. He's saying, what advice would you give the young female athletes transitioning
Hmm.
to high school, from high school to college, or, well, to high school to college to pros? I did have that question, but
Hmm.
because he's asking it, you can go ahead and answer. What advice would you give these young female athletes moving from one state, especially from high school to
Hmm.
college to pro?
First and foremost, I would say focus on your education. Education comes first because sometimes we can get caught up into this whole track, world, and we want to get there so fast that sometimes we'll lose focus on what's most important, which is your education, because it takes nothing to get injured. And then what do you have? You have nothing. And these are things I teach my own children right now. Like, yes, you love soccer, but you got to focus on this first. So definitely focus on education. Two, make a lot of short-term goals. Yes, you have your long-term ones, but make short-term goals in between. And that's going to be the stepping stone to get you where you need to go. Because it can become overwhelming when you make these long-term goals and then you're faltering along the way and you're not getting there. And then you're not even sure, like, okay, how did I get here? What am I missing here? What step is missing? So make short-term goals and take your time and climb. You're young. You'll have time. You will get there. Do not rush.
Good advice. Very good. Daniel, England, you heard that. Very good advice. Very good advice. Earlier, I know that you talked about Merlin, but I actually had this question where I was asking, were there any significant influence that inspired you
Mhm.
as you move into greatness from a youngster to Olympic greatness? And you did talk about Merlin
Mhm.
Otti. You did talk about Merlin Otti.
Yeah.
Which leg is your favorite? Before we get to that, when did you discover Marlene Otti? At what age?
1988.
1988.
Mhm. I never forgot. I was in my grandmother's living room and I was watching the TV, and I don't know what happened, but something sparked in me and I was like, "Wow." And I mean, Jamaica was just in uproar, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is beautiful." Like, and that's ever since then, I've always thought about Merlene. I've
Beautiful.
always thought about Merlene Otti then,
She
and
is
she's been
indeed
my
a
greatest
queen.
inspiration.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Which leg of the 4 by 100-meter relay is your favorite leg to run?
Originally, it was second leg. Originally. And I remember I ran a few relays with Jamaica, I think World Cup and CAC games and all of that. And everybody's like, no, you have a good start first leg. So I've been stuck on first leg. So, I got accustomed to it and it became comfortable. So I got to love first leg.
Yep.
The passion grew for that first leg.
You're discovered on the first leg, and
Mhm.
that is your place. You
Yeah.
have a PB of 53.63 playing around in the 400 meters. If you were to run on a 4 by 4 team, a 4 by 400-meter relay team, which leg would you want to run?
Well, in college, I always ran second leg, so I would probably say second leg.
But you know something?
That was my favorite leg in college, so I'll say
You
second leg.
You said college, but every Jamaican athlete I talk to, sprinters,
Hmm.
they tell me that in college they run 4 by 4. What is it about college and 4 by 4? Why college coaches think that their sprinters need to run on the 4 by 4 team? What is it really?
I think most of all the strength work, and two, if you have an athlete that's good enough can run a 200, you're doing 300s in practice, you're going to run a 400. There's no reason why you can't. So they're going to utilize you there.
Yeah, I like that with the college coaches,
Hmm.
especially in the United States. You are running
Yes.
4 by 1, and I am yet to talk to a Jamaican sprinter who have
Hmm.
not done 4 by 4 relay in college.
Yeah.
But before we go any further, Davian Clark is saying Jonathan Grant High School had a male runner who ran 45.8 seconds and 22.7 at champs.
Hmm.
Champs history for Jonathan Grant. So Jonathan Grant is a big deal. Jonathan Grant have their own Olympic champion in Miss Tanya Lawrence. Outstanding, outstanding. Because I love big up the schools. I mean, if you notice, I
Yeah.
talk about, yeah, I love to big up the schools
Hmm.
and the parish. Leo Davis is saying, my greatest female sprinter, Merlene Otti. That's what he said. Lansford Lyons is saying, the first leg can make or break a team. The chemistry. Look here, the chemistry that you four ladies had, I I am yet to
Hmm.
see it in another for, and I'm not saying this to discredit anyone, but
Yeah.
the chemistry that you guys had was flawless.
It was. We indeed had a great chemistry 2004, because we didn't just practice together. We hung out together. We were in the dorms together. I remember even the relay team would be there practicing, and even after practice, we would wait on the ones who had individual practices, because like Veronica, she had her individual 100 meters and, two to run. And we would finish practice and we would sit and wait until she was done and we would all go back together. So
Yeah,
the
make me
chemistry was
cry.
definitely there.
Tayna, you're gonna make me cry. You guys were really
Yeah,
teammates.
we came together as a team. As a team.
So
Yeah.
Veronica, who was running individual, you guys would stay back
Would
and
stay and
support
wait
her.
until she's done working on her starts and stuff, and we all go back together. So it wasn't like, okay, you're doing this, you're doing that. Okay, stick pass, bye, and we're gone. I've been on teams like that where we come,
Yes.
pass, and everybody just go their separate ways. There's no team camaraderie. So it makes a difference. It makes the world of a difference. And we definitely had that for 2004.
Before you would have met Veronica at the Sydney Olympics because she ran on that
Mhm.
relay team with you. But fast forward into the 2004, did you know Aileen and Sharon before 2004 when you guys made the team?
I knew them just from watching, but never got together that close. No. But
Okay.
I knew Veronica from 2000.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was easy. So Aileen and Sharon, they came into the team and fit right in
And
as
fit right
newbies.
in. Yeah. hmm
Outstanding, outstanding. Who made you nervous when you line up in a race with them?
Hmm. Can't think of anybody who would make me nervous.
Nobody made you nervous?
I never really got
Merly never make you
nervous.
nervous?
I never really got nervous. Not nervous. I
Wow.
can't think of anybody who made, but I know there's one person who have thrown me off of my race before, but I wouldn't say it was nerves.
Who was that? Do you want to share? Please share. Please share.
Zana, Zana Pentusevich.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
yeah, and she made these funny sounds at the start, and
Oh.
I didn't know that.
So it work.
It worked.
A person can do and say things to throw. Interesting.
And I did not know that, and she literally barked like a dog down in the blocks and threw me off. And of course, that's where she needed to get me at the start.
Yeah.
hmm
Wow.
But
I
nervous per se, I wouldn't be nervous. I think most of the times I was more nervous if I think I wasn't ready for a race or prepared for a race, but I didn't get nervous to compete. I loved competing. I never got nervous. I think I'm more nervous in practice than at the meets when I have 300 meters to run.
what about when you come to the trials? How tough was the trials for you?
It was tough because, the caliber of women I'm running with, it's not easy. Definitely not easy, but it takes a lot of focus, mental preparation, not just the physical, you know. It's always tough. Jamaica trials is always tough.
Yeah, I've heard
Yeah.
that. I've heard
hmm
that.
But if I think nervous, I do not compete well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good that you were able to stay focused on your lane, the job that you have to do,
hmm
and execute.
Yeah. hmm
Execute. Have you ever thought about, okay, you did say, have you ever thought about coaching pro athletes? And if yes, which event would you coach?
No, I never thought about coaching pro athletes. I thought
No?
about coaching high school,
Okay.
but I never got into high school because of my kids and the hours, you know. I never got into it. So my kids have, ever since I've had kids, my kids have literally taken over my life and my schedule. So I do everything around them. That's
I'm going
just
to
what I've done.
Okay. I'm going to put you on the spot now. The
hmm
Paris Olympic Games is coming up,
hmm
and Team Jamaica, the top 8 countries in the world, are invited for a retiree race. You have to pick a team with you on it,
Mhm.
who would be your other three teammates and how would you set up that team? I know that I'm putting you on the spot,
Mhm.
but I want to know because you have to pick a team that will go and win it on.
Mhm.
So who would be your other three teammates and how would you set up that team?
And it has to be all retirees.
Retirees, yes.
I would definitely choose the 2004 Greece team for sure.
I figured you would. I figured you would, yeah.
Yes, that would be the team. Like, if I could run with that team again and again and again, that would be my team right there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you would run it in the same
in the
order.
same order every time.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Mhm.
I know that Aileen is watching. Aileen is somewhere watching. She's watching this. Yeah, Aileen is watching. During your career, if your coach had said to you, Tanya, I'm
Mhm.
going to switch your event and put you in the middle or long distance, which event would you choose? I'm going to tell you what the middle and long distance events are just for the audience. The
Okay.
800, the 1500, the mile, 2000 steeplechase, 3000 steeplechase, the 5000, the 10,000, the half
Okay,
marathon.
stop right there. Oh my God.
Which would you choose?
The shortest one, the 800.
The 800. I don't wrong you, of course, of course. Have you ever false started in your career?
I don't think so.
I don't
Can't
remember you
remember.
ever
I can't remember. I've had some starts that look like false starts, but they weren't.
because you're so quick.
Yeah.
But how is it that you're so quick out of the blocks and you've never false started, just like Shelly Ann?
I don't know. I just have a way of timing the gun and
Tell
just
me how you do it.
listening.
Tell me how you time the starter.
The thing is, I don't not necessarily time the starter. It's almost like, I don't know, like I tune everything out, I block everything out, and the only thing I hear is the gun, and I it's almost like I don't wait to hear the whole gun. I just need to hear the first, you know what I mean?
When
Like the
you're on
first.
your mark, do you
Mhm.
hear you obviously you would hear set, but when you go in that set position, are you
Mhm.
hearing the crowd in the
No.
stadium?
No, I don't hear anything.
Wow.
I don't hear anything.
Do you count in your mind? Do you
No, no,
say
no, no.
one?
No. I have a blank mind just waiting on the starter. So I'm like tuned in just for that sound. I don't know how I do it, but I'm just, and I think most athletes do that, but I don't know. My reaction time is just, I don't know. But
Yeah,
I'm
man.
able to tune
Outstanding.
and block
Brilliant.
everything out,
Brilliant.
and just, it's just me and the starter.
If a current athlete that we have should come to you and said, Tanya, tell me what I need to do in order to become a better starter in the 100, what would you tell them? How would you tell them to approach it?
First of all, increase your upper body strength. That's one of the things that helped me a lot. It's
Like
not just.
lifting weights?
Mhm. So it's not just leg work. Like, my legs were always strong. I always was able to bench press, squat and leg press a whole lot. But it wasn't until I increased my upper body strength, that's when my start became more explosive. So of course your upper body strength, because when you're down there, a lot of pressure is on your arms, and if your arms aren't strong, then the pressure is going to weigh down and it's going to cause you to move off slower. But if the lighter you feel down there, it's nothing.
Wow. I'm going to take this little clip and post it. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. What do you think about the mixed relay? What is your thoughts on it? Do you like it?
I think it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fun to watch. I like watching it. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like it.
Mm-hmm.
The J3A just announced that
Mm-hmm.
uh only the top three in the 100 meters and the 400 meters are guaranteed a spot in the relay pool. They're
Mm-hmm.
guaranteed a spot. Um, what are your thoughts on those changes?
Well, to be honest, I don't really like it because anything can happen after trials. And a lot of times people get ready for trials and then they aren't ready for the championships.
Say
You
that
know,
one more time.
a lot of time people get ready for trials and then they're not prepared for the championships because a lot of people train for trials and the championship is so far out that by the time we get there, the ones who didn't even make the team are more prepared. So, I mean, that's their rule, but I think at the end of the day, we should have the best team out there.
Totally agree with you. And you just said something a while ago. It is so powerful what you said. A lot of people train for the trials, but not for championship.
Mhm.
That's that statement is facts
Mhm.
because I've seen it.
Yeah, all the time.
People train to come to the trials to make the
To
team.
make the team. Mhm.
But when they get to the championship,
They're flat.
yeah,
Yeah, it happens all the time.
very good observation. You're brilliant. Yes, man. Very good observation.
Mhm.
Your thoughts on the world relay, on world athletics making world relay the Olympic qualifying for the Olympic Games. What you think about it? What were your thoughts when you heard that the world relay is going to be the qualifying for the Olympic Games?
I didn't agree with it because one is so early in the season. And if you notice even this year, we didn't have the best teams out there. And that's because a lot of our athletes, they have a long season and they're resting, they're coming back. Most of them, they're not ready to go out there to run a relay at World Relays. It's so soon. They haven't even ran an individual race yet. Like there should be something else further down the line. I don't know. I don't know.
But one thing I can tell you for sure, it did improve the quality of the world relays
Well, it
because,
will. It will
yeah,
because of the fact that they need to perform there in order to qualify. So
yeah,
you know, it
because
would.
we saw top countries rolling out their top
Hmm.
people. We were the only country that did not roll out our top people. But when you look at other countries, their
Hmm.
top athletes were out.
Yeah, because they needed to. They needed to be out. You know, I guess we didn't take it that seriously because, and we probably feel like, okay, we have depth. So, hey, go do it. But I don't
Yeah,
know. Maybe
yeah,
something a little bit later would work
yeah.
best.
Many athletes told me that well, we just talk about that, about trials and
Mhm.
it being hard. Name me one of your favorite moments competing for Jamaica.
Mm,
Or give me your favorite moment competing for Jamaica.
I would definitely have to say Sydney.
Why Sydney? You won gold in Athens.
Yeah, but for some reason, Sydney was like my first, I wouldn't say my first experience competing for Jamaica because I did prior to that with like CAC World Cup and, World University Games and stuff. But I think Sydney for me, it was on a bigger stage. It was this huge platform. And to see my flag being risen in a stadium filled with so many people,
Yeah.
and it didn't take me and three other people. It was just me. It was like that was because of me. And when I look up and see that that flag is being risen in the stadium, all because of me, that was a moment that I would never forget.
Indeed.
I
In
would say that that would
individual,
be my
yeah,
moment.
yeah. Beautiful. What is your favorite Olympic moment for Jamaica overall? From 1948. Well, we weren't around those time, but what is
Mhm.
your favorite Olympic moment for Jamaica? If you should pick only one moment that any athlete have done at the Olympic Games, which moment would you pick? I know I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh, wow.
There's so many,
Well,
right?
there's so many
Mm.
because there's so many. Oh gosh, I could, you know what? To be honest, I would say Sydney, Dion Hemmings, 400 hurdles.
Where she won the silver medal.
Yes. I for some reason that stuck with me. That I would say, and I would say that because I was literally in tears for her, that for that race. But yeah, that's my moment. That would be my moment.
I like that you support your teammates. I like that.
Hmm.
You support your teammates. Even when you're not involved in the race or whatever is happening, you support. I like that. I like that.
Hmm.
Ah, looking back at your achievements overall, looking back at everything, which moment you are most proud of? Name me one.
One moment. Um,
Overall, your
Overall,
overall
my whole track
achievement.
career.
Yes.
Mm, I think it would be there was a race that I ran in Martinique. I It was in early 2000, and I think I was most proud of that track meet because it was almost like my breakout. It was my very first international meet traveling solo, and I ran a personal best, and I felt like I executed the race the way I was supposed to. And that moment, I felt really, really proud. I really felt proud. I can remember that meet like it was yesterday. Yeah.
Beautiful. Reflecting, my last question to you is reflecting on your athletic journey,
Hmm.
everything that you've been through, all the people that you've met. What lesson have you learned that from overcoming challenges and setbacks,
Hmm.
and how have that influenced your life even after track and field?
To remain positive, to remain positive. And that's something that my coach has taught me in every situation. It didn't matter what it seemed like. And especially during my injured years, I was highly, highly, highly motivated by my coach. And it was always to remain positive, always look on the good side. The moment I would think or try to say something negative, he would always rebuttal it and teach me how to think positive. And that has really transpired into even my personal life now.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. With that said, Tanya Lawrence, is there anything that I did not touch on that you want to share with us? You want to share with the especially Jamaicans who are now getting to know you? Is there anything I did not touch on that you would like to share with us?
Not really, but there is one thing that has always bothered me, which I see that Jamaica is overcoming now, and I'm very happy to see that they are actually embracing a lot more overseas athletes compared to when I came out, because I wasn't really embraced by Jamaica, by the J3A, And now I see that has changed tremendously. And I think they're moving in the right direction.
Beautiful. I'm glad you said that. Beautiful,
Hmm.
beautiful. Tanya, I have been asking you questions for more than an hour. Now I'm giving you an opportunity to ask me two questions. Any two questions that you want to ask me that are fit for airplay. Ask me any any ask me any two questions
I'll just
before.
ask one. Why were
Okay.
you so persistent?
Because, and that's a very good question, and I'm going to answer. I was persistent to get you because Jamaica, and including myself, did not know who you were. We did not know you as one of our athletes. You have done so much for our track and field, and we did not know anything about you. There was no interview. There wasn't anything on local soil to tell
Hmm.
us who you were. And I wanted to know who Taylor Lawrence is and the Jamaican public, because many times we would have discussions and people would say, hey, especially when it comes around to the relay and who must start the relay, people would go back to people like you and said, Taylor Lawrence, that team with Taylor Lawrence,
Hmm.
Aileen Bailey, Sharon, and Veronica. So Jamaicans wanted to know who you were, and I wanted to know. And as I said before, is my good friend Marlene Green said to me,
Hmm.
I must try and get Taylor. And I've been trying to get you from last year.
I know.
But nothing happens before the
Before the
time
time.
because I was confident
Indeed.
that the day would come. And I'm
Yes.
happy that we're sitting here tonight and you're able to share your story. So when Jamaicans watch this interview, they can say, oh my God, I did not know this about Tanya. I did not know she was from Spanish Town. I did not know she was from St. Catherine. You know?
Hmm.
So I'm delighted to do this tonight. And I've been looking from you agreed to it last weekend. I've been
Uh-huh.
looking forward to it. I've been looking forward to it. So I hope I answered
Yes, you did. Yes, you
your
did.
question, your question. But
And thanks
Tina,
for being persistent. I'm happy I was able to share my story. For
yes,
all who don't know me, I'm happy I was able to share a little bit of who I am and my journey.
it is a beautiful story, very authentic, and now we can say we know who you are. This brilliant person who just came on the scene in
Mhm.
2000, your first Olympic Games, and you were on the podium. You were on the podium in the sprints or whichever event you were on the podium. And from that day, you have been a darling, a Jamaican sweetheart in track and field, but it's just that we did not know who you were. And I'm happy that after tonight, people will know who you are and your contribution
Mhm.
to track and field. So, with that said, from me, I will now give you 30 seconds
Mhm.
to do your closing.
Sorry. Well, I just want to thank you for having me here to be able to share or give a little synopsis of my journey, and for the Jamaican people, and not just the Jamaican people, but people all over who may be watching this, to see who I am, what my journey looked like, and just to know that it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter what path you take, it doesn't matter what obstacles you have, what struggles, if you believe in yourself. And that's the key, believe in yourself, because it takes you believing in yourself to get to where you're going. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks of you, because everyone can believe in you. And if you don't believe in yourself, you've lost the battle. So believe in yourself, work hard, do not cheat yourself,
Exactly.
because it's very easy to do that. Sometimes it gets tough, it gets hard. But if you stay the course, and like I said before, making short term goals, not just long term ones. Use them as stepping stones. You will get where you need to go.
Well said. I was just going to, I know I said that was the last thing, but I
Hmm.
just want you to say something to
Hmm.
Team Jamaica, to our athletes who are getting ready for the Olympic Games. It is going to be a very interesting Olympic Games. I just want you to talk to our athletes now before
Hmm.
you go.
Well, to all the athletes who are going out there, um, they're going out there because they have a goal to accomplish.
Yep.
And as I speak to them or you, athletes going out there, you have a goal, you have a dream, and this dream didn't start yesterday. It started a long time ago. I'm sure you've also written goals down. You might have had some bumps in the road getting to where you're going, which is Paris. But, and I say but, do not stop there. You can do it. You are prepared, and you are prepared physically and mentally. Go out there, get the job done, and make Jamaica proud. You have it in you.
Thank you very much,
You're
Olympian,
welcome.
Olympic champion Tina Lawrence. Thank you very much for
You're welcome.
being here tonight. Thank you. Have a good night. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Good night.
Good night. So there we had it, guys. There we had it. Tanya Lawrence. Tanya Lawrence. If you're in track and field, this name you should know if you are a track and field fan. It was so good to have her here tonight. And, as I said to her, it's I've been trying for a while now to get her. From last year I've been trying, and I know that I was confident that she would have been here. I was confident, and I'm happy that I was able to get her before the Olympic Games. I was happy that I could get her, because going forward it is going to be about Jamaica Olympic legacy. That's what we will be talking about a lot. You'll be hearing it a lot, and it was good to have her. It was really, really good to hear her story from her, and knowing this person that we just hear the name. We just wake up one day and hear the name Tanya Lawrence. Tanya Lawrence won bronze for Jamaica at the Olympic Games, and everybody's like, who is Tanya Lawrence? And so it was very good. It was really an eye opener to get her story, and we look forward to many, many more of these stories. Of course, next week we're going to do it again, same time, same place. And I just want to thank everyone who take the time out to be here tonight. Thank you all for being here. Marlene Green, thank you very much for pushing me on this one to get Tina. Thank you. Lansford Lyons, thank you for being here. Kerry Ann Phillips, Sharita Williams, thank you for being here. A newbie tonight, Sharita came out to support her friend Tanya Lawrence. Dorothy Scott Genius, an Olympian, thank you for being here. Another Olympian that was here, Etlin Tate, thank you for being here. Another Olympian that was here, Davian Clark, troublemaker Davian Clark was here. To everyone, Kevin Clark, who was also here, Leo Davis, everyone who was here, Kino, who was here, Daniel England was also here, and everyone is track hero. Everyone, thank you for taking the time out to be here tonight. It was indeed wonderful. And again, we just want to thank Tana Lawrence for stopping by and sharing her authentic story with us, her journey, the challenges, the success, the setbacks, and of course, the love and the joy. Thank you guys for being here, and enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your weekend. The NCAA championship finals going on. So let us enjoy that. But thank you once more for being here. And I am out. Thank you. See you next time. Have a great
We're running it all the way, we're in the lead. We're running it, finish line is all I see. Get up on, no, don't stop. Future bright, the vibes nice, oh gosh. No time for slow down, just sprint, can't lapse. We walk the talk, just ask me both tracks. So come through, let's talk about it, what you say? Oh, your girl HP is on her mark, so get set ready.
On your mark, set, go.
Oh yeah, make we chat about it. What if I said, make we chat about it. Or on left, make we chat about it. Check and feel at the topic. Oh, make we chat about it. Latest news, make we chat about it. All your views, make we chat about it.
Track and feel chat for set. With the girl HP.